And so that leads me to kind of that first point of actually interviewing your customers, or understanding your audience is to actually interview your customers, right? Really ask them and have conversations with them, because they've already given you money. They've already bought into what you do. They trust you.
Yeah.
Assuming that you've done a great job, they will, in many cases, give you very, very candid feedback that you can really implement into your business. And so that's always usually like the best place to start. To kick things off, man, if you're trying to build a brand from scratch, one of the best places that you can start, or the first place that you should start, is you have to understand your market and your audience. Plainly put, you need to know exactly who you're selling to and why they buy from you.
I agree. Those are the people that are going to tell you who you are. Like a lot of times we look at branding and we look at our companies, our startups, and we want to say, all right, let's define ourselves this way and teach everyone to look at us in that light or define us that way. But ultimately, a month, 2 months, 6 months down the road into like interacting with your audience, they're going to start telling you who you are. And they're the important voice because they're your customers, they're your clients, your partners, right? So understanding those individuals, those groups of people, whatever it is crucial to defining your brand from a strategic perspective, because at the end of the day, they're going to end up being the ones that truly define your brand, your company, your startup, whatever. And that's going to build really equity with your culture and your community for your brand.
Yeah, I love that, man. I think one of the things that people can really do to, and you'll hear me use this word a ton, simplify, like how you can simplify this process. And we do this a lot. And we did this, I think, early on, not only with CT, but specifically when we started rolling out brand sprints for clients.
Yeah.
We asked them, plainly put, like, what would make this process better? So we had clients that we work with, we're building websites, redesigning brands, establishing new brands. And the constant set of feedback that we got was, hey, this is really, really great, but if we could do this a lot quicker, then that would be extremely helpful. And so that leads me to kind of that first point of actually interviewing your customers, or understanding your audience is to actually interview your customers, right? Really ask them and have conversations with them, because they've already given you money. They've already bought into what you do. They trust you.
Yeah.
Assuming that you've done a great job, they will, in many cases, give you very, very candid feedback that you can really implement into your business. And so that's always usually like the best place to start. You don't have to interview every single last one of them, but you can start with like 3 or 4 or 5, something that's simple, something that's easy to really get their feedback after they've already experienced what it means to work with you and collaborate with you.
Right. Yeah, and it's cool because we see the best brands never stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I think of a lot of different brands right now. What comes to mind is Liquid Death, how they have kind of taken over a place in the market, and they've never stopped innovating, and they've never stopped interacting with their customers, right? Mm-hmm. And so their customers are constantly redefining and defining that, segment of the market and culture. And so Liquid Death can kind of continue to move in the direction that their client customer base does, right? So it's important, at the offset. And like you said, we've done it countless times with clients and even for ourselves, is to get to know your market and help them kind of like bring them into that journey of like, what is this? Who are we? How can we better serve you? And that in turn is going to lead to more customers, more culture building for your community. And so it's the same throughout the process. And I think that's one of the things, like pulling back the curtain and taking a step like way back, is branding is an ever growing, ever evolving thing. You never stop working through that process. You don't get to a point where, okay, we've completed our branding, we know who we are. Like it's kind of like almost like personal growth thing where you never want to stop learning, you never want to stop growing. It's really the same for your brand.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Heavy on Brand podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. If you need more information on all things marketing and branding, check us out at thecarbonthread.com. Until next time, stay heavy.